So they say that they're going to throw this rock off of a bridge into a river. If you think about what really happens, if you're throwing it off the bridge into the river, you're not just dropping it into the river. So you're standing up here and you get ready to throw the rock. So it leaves your hand, you throw it into the air, and then eventually it's going to come back down and eventually end up in the river. So it's going to go higher than it started before it starts to fall back down. So h of 2 means that I'm going to put 2 in place of my t's. So h of 2, I'm going to take negative 4.9 times 2 squared plus 12 times 2 plus 80. And when I do this calculation in my calculator, negative 4.9 times 2 squared plus 12 times 2 plus 80, I end up getting an answer of 84.4. So h stands for height. The height at 2 seconds is 84.4 feet. So after 2 seconds, the rock is 84.4 feet above the river. So it's higher than it started. I started at 80 feet, and it's gone up 4.4 feet. Now, what I don't know is it on its way up at this 2 seconds? Is it on its way down? But I don't really need to know that. I could calculate that, but I don't need to. When does it hit the river? Well, it hits the river when the height is equal to 0. Because here is the river, so that's when h equals 0. Here's where I released it, so this is h equals 80. And this is the trajectory from there. So I put 0 in place of my height equals negative 4.9 t squared plus 12t plus 80. And now I have to solve this for time. So when does it hit the river? I have to solve this. So this is one I'm going to use the quadratic formula. A is negative 4.9, B is 12, and C is 80. So time that I'm looking for is equal to the opposite of b, so positive 12, opposite of that is negative 12, plus or minus the square root of negative 4, not negative 4, of b squared, so that's 12 squared, minus 4 times a, which is negative 4.9, times c, which is 80, all over 2 times a, which is 2 times negative 4.9. When I plug these parts into my calculator to simplify it just a little bit, I get the square root of 1,712 over, and then 2 times negative 4.9 is negative 9.8. So to find my solutions, I would expect to see two different solutions. One back here that's negative, actually, and one that's over here that's positive that I'm interested in. The t equals negative 12 minus the square root of 1712 over negative 9.8 is 1. And when I solve that, I get t is 5.45 seconds. I really, honestly, since this is a word problem, I can figure out which one's going to, in this case, give me the positive answer. And it's going to be the one that makes sense, because here is where time is 0. I release here. Time is 0. I'm going to get a negative answer, but just to be safe, let's make sure this works. Negative 12 plus the square root of 1712 over negative 9.8. When I solve that, that one rounds to negative 3.00. It doesn't make sense to say that it hit the river before I threw it, so this one is gibberish for this problem. So the rock hits the river, 5.45 seconds after it is thrown. That's the only one that makes sense for this problem.